Welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we discuss movies in the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. I'm Brian Lockhart,
I'm Jack.
and today we've reached minute 118. I wasn't confident on that minute, so
Oh, I've
I know.
been there.
Oh, yes, we have.
I would have
We've
gotten it wrong. Today we're doing minute 112.
I would say 115. Apparently, that was one we were hung up on.
Yeah.
Minute 118 begins with the aftermath of an airstrike, and it ends with Recon about to demonstrate some Spider-Man skills.
Yeah.
How you been, brother?
I've been good. I've been good. Busy. Life outside of podcasting is a little bit more rambunctious than doing this. Hey, folks, if you want a better rested set of hosts, feel free to start us a GoFundMe or a Patreon, and we can do this shit full time.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to hear us talk full time?
Shit, man, I have my own voice, and I don't even want to hear myself half the time.
I hear you. Apparently, I like the sound of my own voice because I just talk and talk and talk, and then I get to edit it too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, the finished version sounds a lot better than the original version of me talking. So, and that's telling because I've listened to some of the episodes. Oof.
You're welcome, folks.
Right, this is the edited version. Gee whiz. All right. Well, if you recall, last minute, these guys got out of a pickle thanks to the quick thinking of really the trio of leadership when it comes to recon. It was Lieutenant
Yeah.
Ring with his Lieutenant Ring with his
Idea.
idea. You're right. Thank you. And Stitch Jones in his ability to basically be a jack of all trades and rewire the telephone lines
Yeah.
and produce a credit card.
And produce a credit card. Yeah. In delegation for Gunny.
Well, I would say no. Well, you forget Gunny went out and actually. I was going to say lasered, but he didn't. He, he paint. Yeah, I was going to say
Smoked.
painted. Yeah, he popped some smoke. So to mark where the helicopters. In fact, he got shot up while doing it.
Yeah. Shot at.
Something happened.
Yeah. He knocked on his ass.
Something happened that he ended up holding hands with Stitch Jones.
Yeah.
We recall the helicopter. And I think we get a shot. I think you mentioned it offline that these are the same two helicopters. Yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason, we're waiting just for the right moment to come up dramatically over the over the ridge instead of just coming up over the ridge immediately.
Yeah. Just waiting. Yeah. Hovering. Like, no, now, no, now, no, now. Yeah. Okay. Go.
Yeah, what I would have liked to seen is like, and maybe if they ever do like a remake of this, but like the perspective of the helicopter pilots. You know, you got the one who's probably in charge,
Yeah.
and so you see him and he's like, the other guy's going, do we do same thing? Like, do we raise up now? Hold, hold. And it's like, the other guy's panicking because he knows Recon's in trouble. Hold
You could see him. You
now.
see him taking fire. They're like, no, man.
Now, it's always like in those movies.
The whites of their eyes.
Yeah, yeah. What I was gonna say, it's like you think somebody's gonna betray. Like, oh, I promise my army I pledge my army to you,
Yeah.
and they're like, the one team's getting wiped out, the one army's
Yeah.
getting wiped out, and they're like, Eric, the Reds men will be here any minute, and you just see them there, hold, and then they attack at the right
Yeah.
moment, and
Or
you're
is it
like, oh, they did,
Army of Darkness?
yeah, exactly. Where's Henry's men?
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that though, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, I would have liked to seen that perspective of, of the helicopter pilots, but no, so we just literally just get a quick couple seconds of the aftermath. You see that, I forget what we called it, the BRD or BRP, whatever the tank,
Yeah.
the commie tank that was it's all disheveled, his wheels are off the tracks, on fire. We couple dead well, actually just one dead soldier in the forefront.
Yeah. Keeping the PG rating.
Yeah, right, right. Well, it cuts to Recon marching down the streets of it's supposed to be Grenada, but this is Puerto
Right.
Rico. Pretty triumphant music. We've heard this music before. It was the same music that when we got the basically the Marine recruiting commercial. That those 3 minutes where it was just like, hey, look what we can do, and we're doing a landing invasion. It was like that same
Yeah.
triumphant military music. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 you know. So
And then a bunch of other Marines are arresting what looks to be a Grenada citizen
yeah,
for no reason.
There's 2 of them, and it's like yeah, so as Recon's going by, we get that's the shot where we get the helicopters, but you see other Marines basically have, the blocks kinda secured,
Yeah,
like almost like a checkpoint,
yeah,
and yeah, there's, like, a couple Marines, like, patting down, they grab his, like, shirt or his
yeah,
jacket, and they got their hands on their head, and there's, like, these 2 and one guy looks old, like, 2 shopkeepers that they're
yeah.
but if you noticed, something happened in this town, prior to Recon getting there because there's a car on fire just
Yeah.
flaming.
They're like, "Get your ass over here in jail."
Yeah,
Snatching them up. Like, "What's going on here?" Could that be I mean, we're just assuming that those are Marines. Could that be any kind of local forces or local police? Because sometimes, uh, there's you delicately like, some of these countries, like, there's a very fine line between police and military.
yeah, no, that's true. They are, so, because some of these places are so small, they don't really have
Mm,
much of either. You
yeah,
know what I mean? The shot of the helicopters going by when Recon crosses the road, I mean, like, comes to an intersection, and you see, like, a Jeep and a couple guys, like, got their helmet off, and they're, like, looking like they're some plans. A couple guys runs up. They
no,
look
those
like
are
Americans.
Marines.
Yeah, those are Marines, those are Americans. I
Yeah,
think they're all I think they're all Marines because you can see, like, some 5 tons in the background,
mm,
at the end of the street
yeah.
where the direction Recon was coming from. I was wondering, I'm like, is it one of those things where they're like, all right, let's get these guys out of here because maybe they're civilians, and even though it looks like they're being arrested and they do have their hands on their head, maybe it's like you get them to safety. But
Yeah.
clearly something had just happened. Is it possible that they were sympathizers? They were.
Yeah,
I mean, because
could
you
be.
remember it was basically a civil war type thing.
Yeah, so they could have been yep, yep.
Yeah, they could have been supporting the communist regime that the Americans and the rest of the, Caribbean nations were there to get out and restore order.
What is it with commies burning and blowing stuff up? What is it? Never mind.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did think that was funny though. It's like, what is this little scene going on here that we don't know about? I noticed too, as the recon is marching through the town, Lieutenant Ring is up front and center, leading the men, but everybody else, like Gunny's in the middle, and I feel like the two corporals are actually bringing up the rear. It's Stitch Jones which I keep want to call him by his actor name, Rodney Hill,
Yeah,
Collins
yeah,
are bringing up the rear, and
that's not a
I guess
typical yeah, that's not a typical patrol formation.
I think they're in a relatively secure area because as you can see, like, the Marines have already secured that area, so they're probably got their guard down. It is a little
Yeah.
more of a casual walk and not like a, combat ready. Although I did notice a couple fingers on triggers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It drives me nuts every time I see it too. So we cut over to, well, it looks like a nice brick garden pathway that that these guys are coming up to. When it cuts again, you can see it's a big Spanish fort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
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 pretty
yeah.
cool though, man. Can you imagine living kinda close to something like that? Just kinda go, you know or even as a kid, like, living so close to something like that. You imagine all well, I mean, kids these days alright, kids, back in the day, we used to run outside, play with
Yeah.
toys,
Well, you and
with
I,
guns and stuff, and we pretend to play soldier.
yeah. Well, did you ever go to the fort? And I actually think Fort Fisher in North Carolina.
No, I didn't. I
No,
didn't.
no, it was like, I mean, because we used to go, Atlantic Beach was 20, 30 minutes from
Yeah.
Cherry Point.
Yep.
If you go down to Atlantic Beach, if you make if you go straight over the bridge, you go right to the clubs in the beach area. But if you make a left and you take it all the way to the end,
Yeah.
There's Fort Fisher. It's a pretty
Huh.
cool place. I've been there
Oh,
several times. Yeah.
okay. No, I stopped at the clubs and bars.
Yeah, right.
That's as far as my travels took me.
History, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna make some tonight.
Or I'm gonna forget something tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a cool place. Fort Fisher, pretty neat. Yeah, so this is one of the many forts that was built, back in the day. So found a little history on this. As we know, and this is not a bit I do for the podcast. I am going to butcher, but I think it's Vicus, Puerto Rico. That's where they filmed these scenes. For Vicus filled in for Gurnita, and it was at Porta Antilles. Oh, Wedge Antilles, Captain Antilles.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Keep going.
I believe he's a navigator on some sort of anyway, so
God damn it. Go ahead, continue. I knew it was coming.
but this is a fort. It's Fortin Conde de Mirasol.
You just said that like the most white man on the planet.
Dude, that's 3 years of Spanish class I
Yeah.
took in high school at work.
It's Conte de Dida.
Donde está la biblioteca?
Like, it's all right. At least you. Oh, go ahead.
Or as Cheech and Chong taught me, pendejo.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah. Other than that, no. Like I said, 3 years of Spanish, no shit. This is what
Oh,
that produced.
yeah.
Right. So this is a fort that's still standing today. It's they turned it into a museum.
That's cool.
It's clear that the filming for this movie, they restored it basically, and it was restored sometime after this movie.
Oh.
Because I mean they have some pictures online, and it's clear that yeah, no, it was it was definitely restored after the fact. Actually, I think I got a little information on it. So yeah, so some history of this fort. They believe it was constructed somewhere between 1845 and 1855, and
Really?
it's on a hill that overlooks Isabel II. The fort was built with the intention of protecting the port, which makes sense. Originally housed the Spanish militia who would guard the island of Vicus against invading countries and pirates. I don't know if did you ever see Black Sails on
Oh, I
steamers?
love that. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the first thing I thought of. Is this was a could have been a cool pirate fort.
yeah. I know, well, that's what it made me think of. Is like they had that one guy that was like he wasn't really so
Oh
much.
yeah,
He was like a privateer and not so much a pirate, and he was in charge of the fort for a while,
yeah.
and
Shit, I
it
can't
was
remember his name. But he was actually a pirate back in his day too.
yeah. Most of those characters were real pirates, like
Yeah,
real life pirates based on real life.
yeah.
Well, that's a great show.
That was an incredible show.
Let's see. So yeah, so it was never used in defense of Vicus. Served as both as a jail for the Spanish and the U.S.
Ah,
It was abandoned in the 40s and fell into disrepair.
yeah. Well, it does
Maybe it
look
got
a little
depressed too.
despaired. Yeah,
Yeah, it got in disrepair and then they had a feeling of despair while it
yeah.
was waiting to construct. Yeah, basically they were just saying it's basically restored and it's used for like education and museum. And they said it's one of the I saw this on a different website mentioned it's one of the best places to learn about history in Puerto
Puerto
Rico.
Rico.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it mentioned that this was like the colonial style restored buildings, house a beautiful art gallery, collection of indigenous artifacts. It has meeting rooms and so you can like rent it out for and stuff like. Pretty
Oh,
neat. It looks pretty nice. It's got some good gardens and stuff like that. So because of its location in proximity to other Caribbean islands, it fully is full of architectural treasure. In 1990, the skeletal remains of a 4,000-year-old man found on Vicus is now on display.
oh wow.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see when exactly they updated. What year?
Hmm.
Checked several websites already, and it does not say when it was done.
Hell, it might have been one of those ongoing projects. They started one year and then they just kind of worked on it when they either had the money or the time to, like one of those little foundations or whatever. It's like, yeah, protect your history.
Or even a little bit here, a little bit there, and next thing you
Yeah,
know, it's fully
yeah.
yeah. Well, anyway, so these guys, the Recon, they approach a hill, and then they get in a. I think one of them was a cheerleader because they do like a human pyramid.
Yeah. And then they send Forgetti up. Like, yeah, why
Why
not
didn't they? Who are you gonna say?
send up Quiones? He
Yeah,
was
Quinones for
he,
sure.
he's tiny. They could Sweet could just throw him up.
Yeah, so like it's like like if Recon was gonna do a heist movie like Ocean's 11, Coyotes would be the little flippity do guy that
You bastard, I'm in.
well, right. But like you remember the little the Asian guy that was in the contortionist and he was
Yeah,
like he did all the flippity doos.
yep.
that would be Quinones' role in this team because he's the like little guy, the tunnel rat, the guy that can
Yeah.
get into things, like I mean I mean, forget he's not huge, he's average.
Yeah.
But again, why don't you send I mean, even Aponte or even as Collins seems like he'd be smaller to go on up.
Yeah, it'd be a little easier, yeah, a little easier on the guy on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be like if they put Quinones on the bottom and then Swede was the one that climbed up.
Yeah.
Although, like you said, because we've been kind of pointing out all the times that we've seen Swede and Quinones together, like that would have been a perfect time for him to be like, "All right, fastball special coming
Yeah,
up."
exactly. Damn it, I was just thinking about it, yeah.
He throws it right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about that too. Yeah, it's like, that's great. Swede would be Colossus.
Exactly, yeah.
Quinones is little, Wolverine's like 5'3", so yeah,
Yeah,
Quinones is definitely is Wolverine in this scenario.
yeah.
So
Just throw him up there.
Lieutenant Ring's gotta be like Cyclops. He's kinda like
Yeah.
the nerdy leader with glasses, you
Yeah.
know? It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I don't have one for ones for everybody else, so
No. Oh, no, you committed, you need to go for it.
Oh,
Uh,
actually,
highway would have to be cable.
oh, right, right, yeah, yeah, Aponte was gotta be, Nightcrawler because he's religious. Yeah.
Ah, there you go. We probably just last, like, half our audience, and then we probably gonna get another half that are all like now they're like, "Oh, they're all doing pop culture references, Star Wars and
Yeah,
X-Men."
or jack of all trades,
Yeah, yeah.
or jack of all parries.
Ah,
Yeah, then well, once Forgetti gets up there and he's got a rope all around his like he it seems like he legitimately struggles to get the rope around from off his neck. The tie he ties it
yeah.
to the yeah. It's like oh crap! He's caught on his hat for his cover for a minute. But yeah, he ties it around one of those old cannons that's secured to the building, and then you see Stitch kind of tug because we saw Stitch go down. Now we're about to see
Yeah,
him go up.
yeah,
Oh, so that was another setup, hey, these guys know how to repel
yeah.
in both directions.
Both, yeah,
This is an old crumbled fort, right?
yeah.
Now, granted, they tug on that on the rope to make sure it's secure before they go up, but
Mm.
I mean, also I could be like this is kind of a comedy too. Like that thing should have just came right down on them, or
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
have this
Yeah, the
like
cannon? Oh,
yeah.
that would've sucked.
Yeah, it's like you see it coming, they all scatter, and they gotta go
Yeah,
find another forget he's up there going like, "Wah, wah," and they has to
yeah.
go find another one.
Yeah, all the noise brings all the Cuban soldiers. He's up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh,
the Top
blink,
Secret.
blink. Yeah.
Have you seen Top Secret with, Val Kilmer?
I've seen parts of it, man. I don't think I've ever seen the entire movie.
Oh, that's do yourself a favor, it's a classic, but they raid like a fort, a prison, and they use the, grappling hook, and they throw it up, and then the 3 of them just stand there, and all of a sudden they realize it didn't hit, and it's coming down on them. They're like, "Ah!" They all just run. So, hey, I could see Recon doing that because again, they are I mean, they're pretty proficient now, but they are the screw ups.
Yeah, they've gotten better.
Yeah, yeah. "Oh, fuck you, I'm getting pretty good at this."
Yeah.
Sorry, just, so, I mean, we reach the end in a minute, but I have it playing in the background, and while they're marching through the street, it just made me think of poor Quiones, like, these guys are
Yeah.
not really in step.
No.
They're kind of in step, but not really. It made me think of, like, whenever you did a hump or a march like that, where it's like you got the, like, 6'2" guy leading it up front because they always put the tall
Yeah,
guys up front, and
and the
then the
little
little,
guy
like yeah, the little
almost in a
5'2"
run.
guys yeah, running the entire time because I'm noticing Quinones is he's taking a lot quicker steps than everybody else trying
Yeah,
to
bigger steps too. We're trying to keep up, guys.
so it made me think about that. It's like being in the back of that hump line, you're basically running the whole time to keep up.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't have that problem.
Yeah. I was kinda depending on the situation, I was more either middle or closer to the front, but man, there's a few times where, for whatever reason, I was towards the back and, man, it's well, not always a suck, but then I'm like, "Man, I feel bad for these guys that are always back here."
Yeah,
Especially,
yeah,
like, in boot camp, I was more like upper middle, like middle upper, I should say. And so it wasn't terrible there. Every once in a while you'd run to tighten it up, but for the most part, yeah, you see those guys back there, fuck my little legs running the whole time.
Oh, our two citizens that are being arrested. I just noticed that there's a Marine picking up two helmets that are not of or American manufacture, and looks like either flak jackets or like LBVs. So yeah, it looks like they may have been up to some shenanigans.
Well, maybe that's the local fanatics that Powers was thinking of earlier.
Yeah,
So maybe he dealt with the local fanatics, and that's why he dismissed Gunny when they were well. I don't think Powers dealt with anything, but maybe
no,
other units dealt with local fanatics. So Recon had to deal with Cuban regulars. So
yeah,
yeah. Well, that's a good observation. I think we solved the mystery. They're not just haranguing aliens.
yeah, yeah.
You got anything else for this minute? Since you're on fire
Mm,
right now.
no,
And
no.
speaking of on fire, I keep seeing all these tanks and cars on fire.
Yeah,
No, I don't have anything else for well, all right then. So since neither one of us have anything, let's call it a day
right.
and let's head on over I guess minute 119 for Monday.
Yeah.
I know well, this is Monday. What am I talking about? For Wednesday. Perry and I got to go. We got to go do our own fastball special. Minute 118. Well, this clock is
Oh. Ding ding.
you're right.
Cuckoo.
Okay. I think it's that. Yeah, right. Cuckoo. That's just our podcast theme.